My personal experience in organizing reinforces my belief that there's a need for legislative change. In the early 80s, growing up in Indiana, working in a plant that already had a union, I assumed the whole world was like Gas City, Indiana, and the plant that I worked in. But in the early 80s, I traveled to Mississippi and was involved in a number of organizing campaigns. And what I saw changed my whole outlook on this country. Things were not the same as they were in Gas City, Indiana. I saw an area of the country where people worked and didn't have a fair wage. I visited people in their homes and actually had people sign union cards by the light of my cigarette lighter because there were no electricity in their house. I saw little children that were growing up in the community that the only chance that they had even to survive was to work in the plants that we were trying to organize in. Plants where if you were injured on the job, you were terminated. Plants where if you spoke out about injustice or not being treated fairly, you were labeled a troublemaker and you were terminated. And that story has been repeated since the early 80s, too many times in this country. And without passage of the Employee Free Choice Act, give a level playing field to workers, you're going to see more of what that story is. There are going to be more grandparents raising their children's children. And the standard of living, the great hope for this country, is being lost unless we right the ship.